Hello YouTube, as you can see it's a Gear Chronicle profile, not a Gear Chronicle map because that's not arrived yet. But Zero Damage Gaming, you should check that shit out. Solid Vanguard obviously does that, so, you know. Anyway, White Chronojet, because Z is really good, Z is so good, like, Z is really good. Top 7, look for a grade 1 or a grade 3, add it to hand by binding it as long as you ride a grade 2 or higher, so very good. And on GB, you can get it back from bound by discarding a card, so very solid, reusable, and he's white now, so, you know, he purdy. We've got 4 of the Margol crit clones, because plus 3k, and they're crits. We've got 4 of Piggy, because Piggy lets you countercharge by binding it, which increases your bind zone, so on and so forth. This is going to piss people off because I'm not playing Sheep, because I just want to crit my opponent for days. So we play 4 of the Chronojet crit. Same reason you play any other crit, because, you know, plus 5k, it's a soul, and it's a draw. Solid stuff. Pretty much only non-Zodiac we play. We play 4 hamsters, because best heal, counter charge again, and obviously soul charge if you need, and it fills the bind. He's pretty. It needs to be an SP.
They put gear in its head.
Yeah, for some reason. Then we've got the 4 Arcas, because perfect cards are good, especially perfect cards you can recycle.
And bind stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so load your bind zone. We play 4 Striders. Yes, we don't need them, but common sense reason here is purely because you can discard any grade 3, search yourself your Chronojet Z and still strike for free, and you've got a booster early game. So even if it gets locked, it doesn't really matter because you can still do it anyway. We play 3 copies of Lego Dragon, because it's treated as a grade 3 in the deck and drop zone, so obviously it's a Strife Auto, and it's basically the boost version of whatever it's called, the grade 2.
Merry Dragon. Or something.
No, that's Merry Dragon. But the grade 2 is Manish, that was it.
That was it. Yeah.
So it's basically that. So for all your ZTB, it gains that, and then you bind it, so it fills your bind zone. We still play the 4 copies of Transit Dragon, because why would you not? Because shove it into Soul, and you get to draw yourself a lovely new card. We have our 3 Metal Party Dragon. A guy said on the last profile, just to bring it up, it doesn't really make a difference because of what I said last time, but this card has been errated, so you've got to call the grade 3 and the grade 1 off of its effect in the same column, but it's an 18k column, as I believe I said before in the last profile. Obviously he's your 10k, so he's early game ride. He still gets to attack because you're going to bind your Dran, but mainly on rearguard, that counterblast 1, call a new column, and swing again is why you play it. Then we play our 4 of, which is Cruising Dragon again, because this card is quite frankly silly. Let's look at the top 3, choose 1, and add it to hand. Just for a counterblast 1, on an 11k attacker essentially. There's no reason not to play it at 4. 2 Unicorn. We're not so dependent on Unicorn anymore, except for dust turns, and on dust turns you probably win anyway, so it doesn't matter. But Unicorn is your flood your field, get a new field, win. Then, speaking of Manish, 2 copies thereof, because this card is again plus 2 for every ZTB, so it gets big, and then you bind it, loading your bind zone for your G-Guard to go up in power. Here are our backup grade 3s. Ride consistency, because it's a Chronojet still, because it's G. It gives you a free time leap if you need to, so call something from hand and leap something, you know how it goes. That plus 5k for each 2 face up is very nice. It's not as great purely because we've got Heritage now, and you shove things face down, but when you're early game, or if you don't need to Heritage, it's still very solid, and your rearguard boost plus by 1k for everything, so very good. And the reason we don't play Ox is because Ox is redundant, because you're going to be flipping your G-Zone down. We don't play Snake because Snake isn't needed anymore, and we don't play Big Sheep because Big Sheep's not needed. But ace of the deck, White Chronojet, Soul Blast, return something to the bottom of either player's deck, and then Superior Call, something a grade higher, and no GB, stride from the drop by removing a grade 3 is solid. On the subject of strides, if everything goes completely fucked up, you've got an Altered Dragon. This could easily be a copy of Seabreeze, but not necessarily. It gains power, but it's not much better than that. It just fills your fine zone. You can stride it for anything. We've got 2 copies of Pegasus because you want to counterblast 1, return something, and get 2 cards rather than the 1. Your panic button being the Phoenix because flood a new field and win. If you haven't already won with Gear Next, which you probably have to be perfectly fair, if you can't afford the soul, and I've got no idea why you wouldn't be able to, then we still play 2 copies of Next Stage because you can probably afford the Counterblast. So yeah. Next we'll jump into, we play 2 copies of Heritage. Again, one of them could be a Seabreeze, but you shove some down and you get an extra turn. An extra turn is nice. Dust, because you only need the 1 dust to win, so you might as well just reduce everything down and win. Into G-Guards, 1 Uluru. Uluru is amazing. Get yourself your heal back, get yourself your whatever grade back, and have some fun. Header around is still useful. And last but not least, 2 Elishu, because in increments of 5k, let's be stronger than every other G-Guard, because Gear Chronicle. But like, comment and subscribe, and happy gaming.